What up, y'all? Welcome back to Pics. It didn't happen. I am Fats King. I am barely conscious because of how high I am. What's up, Yeti?
Well, I think Elon said we're going to space, but also his dad slept with his sister or something. So there's that. Welcome to the human race. We're back, y'all. I hope you guys had a good week. That's how we open things around here.
I have no idea how to follow that at all. I'm usually the one that leaves motherfuckers speechless, but you say that shit and I got nothing else. So I'm just going to throw it to the guest. What's up, Luke?
What's going on, sir? I guess we can kind of call this part two.
It's part two, but this is some shit. I got to be honest, man. I'm usually in on a lot of things that are happening, but this thing we're going to talk about right now was some shit that I was not expecting. Very surprised. But before we go further, I want to shout out to the guy in the background. It was so cool that you sung fucking happy birthday to me, bro. Like, I can't get past that. That's so fucking awesome.
Bro,
Thank you.
I love you. Ain't nothing. We one big community, you know what I'm saying? And I got to look out for my boy.
He's gonna pop in periodically. That was the man, the myth himself, S.O.N. But whatever.
Yeah, we're here in Hive Central right now. That's why you're not seeing me in my usual habitat. I'm at Hive Central right now, so plotting and scheming.
Scheme.
So you have gone from content creator to admin / moderator, and now you are stepping out into the artist management field, Goon Management. Can we just talk about that? Like, that's what we're really here to talk about. What a fucking leap for you, dog. And then the people you already got involved.
This show kind of birthed it. I don't know. I don't think I've talked to you directly about this, but
you have not.
Well, technically, I had been with S.O.N's manager right after Grant Size dropped, kind of around that time. He'd asked me, and I was like, hell yeah. And then he went into hiding to work on this new shit. So it kind of was like up in the air, maybe. I was always involved, doing stuff at shows and shit like that. But it was kind of like, okay. And then when you had me on the show for the last episode, that I was on, you said, where do you see yourself in 5 years? And I said, management, working behind the scenes. And our buddy, Noise 13,
we love the Canuck fuck.
He saw that, and he'd been a homie, like with you, and helping him. I was helping him at camp. Like, if you saw me, Noise was probably with me at camp, driving him to and from the hotel, everything else. I mean, I helped him out at Astro 4 as well. So he kind of just seen the way that I move, the way that I operate, how I deal with people, things like that. And he said, he was supposed to be here, so I'm kind of speaking for him in this situation. But basically, he said, he's somebody that I can trust because, there aren't too many people that you find in the scene that you can trust with your money and dealing with people for you, things like that. And, it's generally true. Like, there are certain public figures like me or you where if we did something underhanded, everybody would know about it. We would be driven out of the scene. You know what I'm saying?
Every time it happens, you watch somebody get blackballed publicly, and then they vanish from all traces. You don't see them at shows. You don't see them online. They're just gone.
Yeah. So Noise saw that, and he was down for Astro. I think he was down for Astro, and he was at Fritz the Cat's house, and he texted me, and he was like, I need your help. And I kind of knew what he was talking about at that point, And so I was like, I get to go to Fritz the Cat's house, hang out with Noise. Hell yeah. So I went up there and, we worked it out. We worked out that deal where I was working with him. So, and then I don't know if you want to get into the other people as well.
I'd love to know how you got Dean involved as well. Cause this is some heavy hitters, starting out the gate with these three names. That's a great fucking beginning roster. And I assume you would intend to expand more, but we won't get into that just yet. But so how did you lock this in place with Dean?
Well, Dean has always been a homie too. I've done the Monster Vision listening party with him. We did that Friday the 13th thing with him. So I'd always done stuff with him and to help him. And he put out a post before Camp Zool, maybe a month or two before Camp Zool, where he was looking for somebody local to help him with like stuff like that. And I messaged him and I was like, you know, we could talk about what you need. You know what I mean? He's like, all right. So, I mean, that's essentially what happened. Saw him at camp, and I think like the last day, you know, camp was wild. So finally last day, I think it was, he came up to the hotel room, and the thing I kind of was always asking, you know, these guys is like, what exactly do you need? Like, can I do what you need? Because I don't want to just be like a figurehead, like, oh, Luke the Goon's my manager. Like, I want to actually help you. I actually want to be able to help you. I don't want to just be, you know, a name, so to speak. You know what I mean?
We put in there to work.
Yeah. And so, so talked with Dean, and Dean was cool with it. And that's how Dean came together. And then, like I said, S.O.N was really the first one. So I was like getting to a point where I was like, I guess I should probably announce it so that people know, like, if they want to work with so-and-so, to get a hold of me. And so I hit up S.O.N and I was like, hey man, I'm going to make this like official. And, you know, he was already gung-ho because it was, you know, it was basically already, you know, in place anyway.
Yeah.
And then that was when I put together, you know, the video and everything else and just did the big announcement. Because I was already working with them before that. I was just like, picked an arbitrary time. And I'll be honest, like, when I did that announcement, since I'm on your show, I felt a little bit bad about it because I made the announcement on the same day that your new show came out, The Three Guys and a Murder. And I thought, oh man, I drowned out the news cycle.
Not really. It wasn't that big a deal, and I'll tell you right now, anybody who's doing content creation, you can't worry about what the other person is doing per se. Like if it's a day you're dropping, drop anyway, especially if it's something you're used to doing. It's not so much competition, it's colleagues. We're all trying to move in the same lane. So I appreciate the thought, the consideration, but no worries.
Yeah.
So what gives you? I'm trying to say this and not sound like an asshole. It's a hell of a huge step to just be like, all right, I'm going to move into management. Like you've been working a little bit with like you said, you've been working a little bit behind the scenes with S.O.N and the Legion Realm team, but like this is some really big shit. And like you said, you're putting your reputation on the line. So what made you think you could even do this, I guess, would be what I'm trying to say.
I think mainly it was the confidence in me from other people, you know, because I think as, you know, as people, at least maybe in the scene, I don't know, in general, you don't really like, I don't know, at least personally, I don't like boost myself up a whole lot. You know what I mean? I'm not like one of those people. It's like, I'm the shit. I can do whatever the fuck I want kind of thing, you know?
That's my job.
Yeah. So you need a little bit of like a push sometimes. You know, you need a little bit of push. You need somebody to see that in you and that knows you can handle your business and handle, you know, what they need done.
Yeah,
and
I think those people are weird.
Yeah. Well, then, like I said, when S.O.N came to me originally, because I'd already been working with him and he'd already seen what I was capable of and what I could do. And so for him to say that, I was like, cool. So that was obviously the first little, like, okay, I could do this, which is what made me say that on your show. Which is, you know, it like all like links together back and forth.
This is a whole full circle kind of fucking thing.
Huh? Yeah. Which makes it perfect, which is like, that's why this feels like where I belong. You know what I mean? We're all trying to find like what we can do. And I'll still do, you know, my YouTube shit and still I'm doing the 26 times with fams as well. Like I'll always do these things as well, but I really feel like working behind the scenes and helping these guys accomplish their dreams, reach their goals is like what I've always been set up to do, because that's what I've always tried to do with my content creation anyways. This is just a much more hands-on, more control way of doing it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, it's just the next evolution in what you're trying to do, you know?
Yeah.
Well, you know, I think one of the few things that I actually can take from the music industry, and as far as management goes, if you want to tip, I think you need to really just put one of the boys in a bar every night in Germany for like 2 months and just grind the shit out of them. And then they should be certified pop stars at the end of it.
Yeah, that's the plan.
So Hell yeah, I'm glad that's a plan. I can't wait.
So going forward, are you guys gonna like planning tours with this team? Or are we like what's the picture look like?
A little bit. I know. I mean, I could probably, Noise and Dean. I know they want to do something by the end of the year, so we're kind of working on that. I mean, the main thing right now is like, I don't want to say too much.
Of course not.
We're working on all kinds of different stuff. You know what I mean? I think I can probably say this, that I mean, maybe I shouldn't say this, but I'm gonna say it anyway. I think Noise will be down to the States in October.
We do miss the fuck out of that dude. I'll be honest.
That's one thing I did want to bring up. When you talk about Noise, obviously with him being on the other side of the Great White Border, it can make things a lot trickier. I don't know if you've had any issues yet, but is there any issues that you've foreseen, as far as trying to schedule things or, build out a tour in a country you're not even in? What's sort of some of the obstacles you've seen or are anticipating dealing with him?
Yeah, it's funny. We already booked a show in in Canada for Noise. Somebody hit me up. Somebody had seen, it's why it kind of helps being already somewhat like doing the social media content, making the announcement, because people are like, oh, okay, he's working with so-and-so. I'll contact him to book him for the show. So he might already have, this is still early, but I think he's already got a show booked in Canada already. But I actually think it helps him a lot to have me in the States, because there's a lot of things that in the States, like, you can't do in Canada, like CDs and stuff. Like, that's why Deparation didn't have any physical copies, because he's going to have to order CDs from the United States, get them shipped to Canada, like that doesn't work as well. And so it helps for him to have somebody in the States that can help with those types of things.
Well, that's something that a lot of people don't think about when they are going out this by themselves. Like, you're going to open up such a lane that these guys didn't have before, because like, what you being a manager, the position itself, what do you think you're going to have to do? Or let me rephrase it. Not what do you think you're going to have to do, but the things you're going to have to do. Like, it's people need someone in that position. They think that they can just do this on their own, and a lot of artists are realizing that just because you got a dope fucking flow does not mean you're going to be able to handle all the extra hats necessary to be a production. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I mean, you pretty much said it. It's like, it's not glamorous. It's sending out emails. You know what I mean? It's getting information from the artists, just making, kind of like EPKs, things like that, indirectly. And then, like, because I do content creation, I'm also doing like graphics for these guys, and if they need a graphic, contacting an artist to get work done. I've already done that a couple times for Noise. Sending out emails, like, that's a lot of what I do for Dean, is send out emails, send out contact, podcasts like yours, things like that, because Dean has a machine right now. You know what I mean? He's got D Murder in his corner, and like, they work like a machine. So I'm kind of, they've kind of put me in the cog in the machine, so to speak. And I mean, my big thing with Dean is helping him find the audience where he's really gonna hit, where he's really gonna kind of shine with the style of music that he has. So with Dean, we're trying to get him to like more like horror conventions, what I mean? Playing like
absolutely.
VIP shows, things like that. Like, because I think that's going to be his real strong audience. You know what I mean? Part of it is promoting, and part of it is, I mean, I'm working with 3 very different guys that are on different career paths.
Absolutely.
So I think it also helps for them to have somebody that they can talk to about things that they can't talk to other people, because obviously it's confidential information. And dealing with different artists that they have problems with, or anything like that, you know what I'm saying? So yeah.
So in the short time that you've been doing this, aside from the CD issue, have you encountered any kind of other problems? Like I said, it's only been a little while, so I can't imagine that shit's been that difficult yet.
Yeah, nothing really. Not really. I mean, there was a little bit of a flub last night, but other than that, nothing really, not yet. But I mean, prepared for that. It's gonna happen in anybody's career.
Is there anyone you can think of off the top of your head that you would want to bring on to your team? Any artist? Is there any artist you can see right now who could benefit from what you're bringing to the table?
Like who would I want to manage those?
Yeah. If someone could reach out to you tomorrow, if it'd be anybody, but from our scene.
Shit, that's a weird question.
I'm good for that.
Yeah, I mean, kind of S.O.N was just saying it's kind of one of those things that naturally happen because like all these guys happen that way. Somebody that I could like help, like I would like if I could just pick anybody, Fams and the Hooligans would be fucking dope because they're already fucking dope, but they don't need me. You know what I'm saying? So if I were to help somebody, I don't know. That'd be a tough one, because I also want to help people whose I believe in the mission. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
Yeah.
I feel like a big part of it too is like it's helping the underground as a whole. You know what I'm saying? Like piece by piece type shit.
Yeah, absolutely.
Like I said before, it's like a multi-headed hydra. You know what I mean? And like,
yeah. Well, and that's something else that you were saying. You said this right now. It's 3 different guys. Each one of them represents a different portion of this kind of underground thing we're doing as well.
Yeah. They're all 3 very different, which I think is good. Because it gives me some variety. You know what I mean? And what I'm doing. I mean, you can manage 3 people that are basically doing the same lane. But this way, it also, there's no crossover. You know what I mean? Like, it's not like I'm trying to get somebody fucking in this one lane and I'm like, who do I pick for this? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Who I pick for this option? All 3 of them are they're in different lanes. All 3 of them are.
Are we ever going to see any kind of Year of the Sword kind of project from you guys where it's a super group per se? Not like a Lotus thing, but like where it's a compilation album, basically?
Probably not. But I mean, you'll probably see them on each other's work from time to time. I mean, like I said, they're all kind of 3 different going on their own paths, I mean, I know Noise and Dean work really close together already, but yeah, putting together a whole project, I don't think it fits where all 3 of them are going.
That's more like shit.
Yeah, and that's and kind of what S.O.N just said. That's kind of like a record label thing, which is something we kind of want to emphasize. It's just management. It's not a record label.
Okay. Would you ever consider that?
A label?
Yeah.
Kind of sounds like a headache I don't want. But yeah, at one time I did think about that, but I don't know. I don't think I would ever want all of that.
Listen,
like dealing with personalities in that way, because when you're dealing with people in that way, like they're looking to you to like promote and push things the right way, buy enough copies, you know what I'm saying? Like as a manager, I'm telling other people to do this shit,
Yeah, you're just the one making all the phone calls.
Yeah.
The thing with being a label is if you're going to be successful at it and make your artists even successful, you're going to end up looking like a villain. Like there's just no way to properly run a record label that is both beneficial to the record label and the artist equally at the same time if you're looking to be successful and do something.
And the problem is people are stuck between either being a businessman or a gangster.
Well, yeah. It's
shout out to Suge Knight and Billy Bill.
Like there's one record label I was doing some research on. I can't remember the name of the label, but they were considered to be the most artist-friendly contracts the industry's ever seen and will ever see. Basically, they kept all their masters, they got all the money. Well, the problem is that record label went bankrupt because there's no money. Like, yeah. That's just how this thing is. It's a business, and people want it to be friends. So I would steer clear of owning a record label as well. Unless you're the artist, don't do it.
I feel like the way that this works, though, like if I could put Goon Management right into a light that people could understand. it's very much how Paul Heyman was the Brock Lesnar, right? So like, like Brock Lesnar's legacy was Brock Lesnar's, and Brock Lesnar handled Brock Lesnar's business. But Paul Heyman was there to make that shit official. He was there to make that easier on Brock or Roman or whoever he was with. So when you see S.O.N, I'm very much a Luke Franklin guy. You know what I'm saying? And this is what it is. You know what I mean?
Fucking love that shit. that was got
doing the Legion Realm thing, but Luke the one coming out like, ladies and gentlemen, you know what I'm saying? Like,
so those are shirts we need. I'm a Luke Franklin guy. That needs to happen.
You can put the little Legion symbol on it.
So that's for people who don't really understand what a manager is going to do. That's why I really wanted to dig deep into that. What you were planning on that. This one goes out specifically to S.O.N. You just had the anniversary to grant us eyes. The first time we talked, you had said that this was the precipice of you either sinking or fucking swimming. And I am so glad to see that. Well, I mean, I feel like you knew how it was going to play out, but here we are a year later, and people knew about you before.
Yeah.
But you are a goddamn force of nature now, and that's just how it is. If you're on a bill, people know what the show's going to be like. Do you know what I'm saying? Like they know what they're going to get from you. Was it the success you were hoping it was going to be?
Yeah. So like everyone around me while I was making it, they I feel like, well, not everyone, I feel like some people understood, but I feel like motherfuckers, they heard it and they were there when I was making the shit, and they were like, this is gonna be huge off rip. And I tried to tell everyone, I'm like, it's gonna be a slow burn. You know what I mean? But, and I'm not trying to be cocky by saying this, but there's not a lot of people or artists that do with a debut album what we at Legion Realm did with Grant Us Eyes, because the intention and the energy and the love for the craft and the love for the audience was all there, and this is what makes a Legion Realm product. You know what I'm saying? This is what makes an S.O.N product, because I've been trying to explain it to motherfuckers for a minute now, and it's like, people churn out content a lot for numbers.
Mm-hmm.
But if I take artistry in any form, you know what I mean? Like, let's look at like the motherfucker that painted Starry Night. I love Starry Night. I love looking at that motherfucker. I love what I see in Starry Night because it's my perception. So instead of me churning out content to get numbers and to keep you engaged, I'm over here working on pieces of art that you can objectively look at and interact with and personally relate to. You know what I'm saying? So like Grant Us Eyes was the keystone to what we're going to be doing going forward. And I couldn't be more grateful for the success that it's had. Straight up.
Okay. I feel like you've produced something that is going to, as you just stated, last forever. This is and you will do more. You will do more going forward. But I like you said, I like the idea that this was meant to be quality over quantity, because some people could have already churned out 2 or 3 EPs in the time it took for you to whatever it is you're moving, whatever it is you're doing next.
Yeah.
I like that you've given us this, and it's kind of similar to, I'm not going to compare it, but I am going to compare it. It's kind of how we were given time to digest the Joker's cards. Do you know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
It's a very old school way of doing shit, because now everybody's focused on Spotify singles. Like, how many Spotify singles can I get out to fucking get the record popping? Like, it's a very old school approach to let people digest the record. And the record is very, like, dense, I guess is the way I would say it. Like, in a good way, you know? It's like, there's a lot there. It's a full fucking meal that you're getting with that record, you know?
Can't be enjoyed on one listen. Must be played through several times. That's. We'll talk about that at a different angle. I don't want to come into this because that's something we're going to do later. But so with Goon Management, you guys said you're not a label, but you do know that you represent a portion of the scene. That's kind of what it is. What do you think what are some of the things you are out to try to change in all of this? Because all of us, I feel like all of us, and I mean this, there's about a 30 to 40 people I can think of off the top of my head that we're attempting to fix this shit. And I know that you're one of the people. I was wondering what you as Goon Management are looking to fix.
You know, I don't know if that's even possible. So like fix a lot of stuff is out of our hands. There's nothing that we can really do that's going to fix the problems that are going on with the scene. That requires much more than one or two people. It requires very specific people to come together and set things to rest, if you know what I'm talking about.
Okay.
I do my best at what I do, try to entertain people. I try to stay away from drama, try to stay away from all that stuff that's negative and gets clicks and stuff like that. I try to show people that, like, it's about the music. You know what I mean? It's about the music. I've always been about the music. But I've also been about the theatrics of it too. You know what I mean? I mean, we all like ICP because, you know, they paint their faces and they put on a fucking crazy show. Fago, all this shit. You know what I mean? We've been talking about Ghost this weekend too. You know, I love Ghost. They do the theatrics and all that stuff, and that's part of what I love too. I think that's part of, maybe if you want to try and fix something, is like bring back the showmanship. Bring back, you know what I mean, people doing crazy things. And that's the cool thing about Dean and S.O.N. is they both do that. They both, you know, Dean had the fucking circus or the freak show flyer or banners in the back and fog machines, and like Dean dials up. S.O.N's doing the same thing, you know what I mean? Dialing up even more and more we can do.
Well, you're seeing a groundswell of that. That's happening more and more with other artists as well. Cody Manson. I mean, you know, there was that he pulled at camp, and I think
let me say something real quick. I think the best way that we can fix the scene is to inspire other people to fucking be better, do better. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
I think that's the best we can do if we want to fix things.
But check it real quick. But before we go on, I want to chime in real quick. I want to say that death is a part of the cycle of life. Okay, so we're watching, and we're at the end of something that we all knew and loved. You know what I'm saying? The thing is that shit has inspired what we're doing now, and what we're doing is actually something new. You know what I'm saying? This is a renaissance period because of what we were inspired by.
I love that term.
We are making something new because the messages that are getting through now aren't meant to be told to the exact same audience. The exact same ears aren't going to be listening because the message is different. It's just inspired by what we grew up with. You know what I'm saying? We were inspired by Insane Clown Posse. We were inspired by Twisted. We were inspired by Dark Lotus. We were inspired by fucking nu metal, like the theatrics, man. We grew up in a fucking crazy time for entertainment. You know what I'm saying? And what we do going forward will be our own story. It will not be part of their story.
No, exactly. And,
you know
and that's the thing. Everybody wants to go out there and they're just going to paint their face, and they think that that's all they have to do to get over with the crowd. And it takes more than that. It does take theatrics, but the thing that I see is that we're seeing like you said, we're seeing the next wave of artists, the people who are going to carry this banner, or even a similar one if it's not the same, when these other guys do finally hang it up. And we're looking at the end of certain people right now. You know what I'm saying? And that's not anything derogatory. That's not anything mean. That's not me talking shit in any direction. But there comes a time where, I mean, fuck, look at Alice Cooper. He's not really, he does what, 4 shows a year now? It's like the next up need to be allowed to be next up. Do you know what that's exactly what I need to say. And like you said, death is not the end. It's just a change. That's why everybody always misinterprets the death card in tarot, and that's why what you just said feels so fucking relevant. There are people who need to get out of the way so that new people can come in, and that's just how it is.
I agree. I don't think it's gonna matter if they stand there or not. Imagine standing in the way of a moving train trying to block somebody else from getting through. You know
You're absolutely right.
You're just gonna hurt yourself, and that's all that will happen. You know what I mean? You know, I have a lot of spiritual beliefs and shit like that, but I think that nothing could stop this if it wanted to, and I truly believe that because it's supposed to exist. You know what I'm saying? And I think it has everything to do with what Luke said about like creating and inspiring. You know what I'm saying? Like, what we're doing now in 20 years is going to inspire someone to do something different and possibly better. And that is beautiful. You know what I'm saying? That's the
Absolutely.
mission right there.
I see this unity, this a lot of people are more and more willing to work together than I think I've ever seen in a very long time. If one person is on a show, someone will reach out to them, hey man, you want to be on my show? I want to be on your show. It's just there's this camaraderie that's coming back, and I'm a big fan of that. And I give you guys credit for being involved in that.
Yeah, I mean, I'll be honest, I don't really know what changed. I know about the time that it happened. Like, for me, it would have been, like, early 2020, I think is when I started to notice things. And I don't know, maybe it's because that's when people really started to create things that were worth inspiring people, you know?
Yeah.
Maybe that's what it is.
It's funny because that time in lockdown gave a lot of creative minds nothing better to do but fucking create.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not trying to throw myself in that category, but you know, fuck, we're here. We've been here for almost 4 years, so fuck it. I can toot my own horn a bit, I guess. I don't know. It's self-deprecation. It's a bitch, but it's like I'm trying to get my words because, like I said, I'm kind of high. We all give a shit more than we ever have because we're tired of watching people not give a shit.
Yeah,
and the only way to work with it is together. And I really think that I'll take a quote from a great friend. Scotty V said it's getting easier for the right ones to find each other.
Yeah. It could have been COVID. It could have been, you know, everybody was just like maybe looked at the world and each other and were like, we should just, you know, create art together, you know.
Well, you got this weird thing that happens in the scene where you have what I call show friends, and you only see them at shows. And there were a lot of show friends that, because I couldn't see them anymore, there was a lot more correspondence through Facebook and Messenger and shit, and just everybody wanting to be around each other in one form or fashion, even if it's just watching dumb shit on YouTube. It's as much as we all want to pretend we're antisocial and we don't like people, we fucking love our homies and we know it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Nothing. Nobody. Okay.
Bueller?
Bueller.
You kind of said it. You kind of said it all. I mean, I don't know, you know, what I can add to that. I mean, you're right. You have, you know, the homies you see at shows and shit. And, I mean, I think some of it also, we haven't brought it up, AXC, you know, kind of bringing all the Zooligans together and shit. It definitely had an impact on, you know, what we're doing now.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know if I would even be here right now if it hadn't have been for Zool.
Yeah.
So
it is so cool to see a group that if they're going to set at the top, that they actually like to reach out and interact and be involved with the people they're fucking, you know, selling shit to. Like, it sucks to feel like just a customer.
Yeah.
And that's something I feel like we in this scene, we're spoiled on. We have such an interaction. Nobody listening to random radio is going to be able to have the kind of involvement that they have with the artists that we have. You know, it's a once in a lifetime kind of fucking thing as well. This thing that we're kind of doing, like it's different. Like Logan was saying, it's a different version of something that's already happened.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
In more ways than one on that one. Because the motherfuckers on the radio and shit, man, they're agents for a different beast. That makes sense. One that, like,
No, and that's something else. That's another thing that I feel like I don't have to worry about listening to the music I listen to. There's nobody selling me a secret fucking agenda that I don't know about.
Right. And if it is a secret, it's for you to be better. It's not to fucking take advantage of you.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
There's absolutely. I mean, really, I don't think there's anything bad. And just don't forget to pick up your zebra cakes while you're at the stores there, boys.
Hey, you know what though? Them shits is good, and I was eating them before they said something.
I just eat more now.
I mean, that goes into we're not sorry if we tricked you. You know what I'm saying?
Oh man. Oh wow.
You think it was all this whole thing was just so they could get a sponsorship to Little Debbie, so they never had to buy zebra cakes again?
Well, it ain't working.
No, but it does mean motherfuckers are bringing them cakes and throwing them at them on stage.
That is true. That is true.
Zebra cakes are fucking nasty.
Oh shit! Hot take from S.O.N. So
Joe Black just didn't shut the fuck up about him for like a good portion of time, and now they'll never go away.
Was not expecting that. So, can you give me any? I can't be there, and I'm so bummed for a few reasons, but you guys are one of them. Can you give us any kind of clue of what you guys are going to bring to the gathering? Are you gonna do anything different than we've seen?
So, where it's a small, like it's the little like a reject stage, you know what I mean? And shout out to Horde for inviting me to do that. It's definitely gonna be different for a few reasons of how I throw down. The set's gonna be the same, but how I throw down is gonna be different. I've been going to the gathering for 14 years straight. You feel me? I haven't missed one in 14 years. That, regardless of any bullshit that goes on, it's a big part of my me. You know what I'm saying? And the culture. So when I get to throw down there, I always feel like it's extra special. You know what I'm saying? Because of how much history that festival has just for myself in general. It's very personal. You know what I'm saying? So absolutely. I always think it's an honor to throw down for the Juggalos. I love that shit. And if you are at the gathering, you know what I'm saying, the reject stage on the third night, I think I'm going out at like 2:30 a.m. or some shit. And come through, we'll have a fucking blast. I'm saving a lot of the special shit though for October. Like I'm gonna stress this real quick. I know we're talking about the gathering. If you're going to the gathering, you also better catch Fams and the Hooligans and fucking Fun Time, no question.
LFP said as well.
Mm-hmm.
I'll say this: if you are part of the Hive, if you fuck with S.O.N. at all, if you're getting curious, whatever, do not miss the October shows. Do not miss Night of the Zooligans. Do not miss Hollow Bleed, and really don't miss the Samhain ceremony either. What we have planned for the later half of the year is massive, and I can't wait to share it with you guys. But if you fuck with what we do, then you definitely need to come see us in the spooky season.
Yeah, Samhain ceremony, October 29th at the legendary Carl's Tavern.
Carl's gang.
Come hang out, eat some fucking wings, son. At Night of Zooligans, I already have requested it, but I'm going to do it publicly now. I want another Wall of Death.
Oh, we're getting a much better one at Night of the Zooligans. I feel like at Camp Zool, it was hot. Everyone was tired. It was the third day. Everyone's going to be fresh at Night of the Zooligans, and we're going to cause some mayhem, Bubba.
Oh, I intend to lead that march. I didn't intend this, but I'm getting a bit of a reputation for hurting people. Brandon Philbrook, if you were listening to this, challenge accepted. See you next year, son.
And I'm just gonna say fuck that march as well.
Yeah, but you got to be in there with the fucking camera, and you have to worry about, as Joe Christie put it, all of us rhinos in the way.
Yeah. Just fucking tromping through shit. Not a care in the world.
I keep people away from you. Ungrateful bastard.
I used to throw down harder than fucking anybody in the AXE pits back in the day. And then people get mad at me and they'd be like, Logan's really aggressive. Or S.O.N's really aggressive, whatever. And I'd just be like, why aren't you aggressive, dude? That's not my fucking fault for being a little bitch.
Bitch, either get out of the way or get under the feet. You know what I mean?
I got a
usually
shoulder
just-
injury now. It's a little harder for me, but we'll be all right.
Yeah, I used to try to like be like the barrier, like, okay, I'm gonna set the edge of the pit so these other people don't get hurt. Now I'm too old and my back hurts too much to get pushed. You're on your own. I'm sorry. I'm not doing it.
Oh wow, that was great. So now that you've got this established, now that we're doing this, can I ask what the next 5-year plan is?
Coming for your fucking soul, dude.
I mean, I don't know, to get these guys where they want to be. You know, I think that's the best way I can answer that question. You know what I mean? To get them in the position that they want to be, you know, where they're going to be happy at. You know what I mean? Yeah. I mean, that's the goal right now. Like I said, I think I found my spot. You know what I'm saying? So
that's so fucking beautiful, bro. When you feel like you found the thing you're supposed to do, it's a great feeling. And if you're out there and you're looking for it, just fucking try it. Nobody can tell you no. No fucking body except for you.
And you got to put it out there. You got to put it out in the ethos, like I did.
Yeah. You and you have to. And this is something that's a credit to you and anybody who I truly fuck with. You have to be good at dealing with people in the sense of you got to know how to talk, man. You got to be able to conversate, be approachable. Don't be a dick. How about rule number 1? We've said this. Almost every artist I've talked to, almost every personality I've talked to. If you want to get anywhere, rule number 1: don't be a fucking dick. If you haven't been there yet, don't fucking act like you have.
I think they call that the golden rule, and they say it with a few less cuss words, but I think you got it. I think you nailed it.
Why do I feel like a Trailer Park Boys meme right now?
That's appropriate.
Yeah, it's fair.
Well, either way. So the next time they can see you is going to be what show? What things are coming in the future? Besides the gathering.
Let me get this fucking thing to work real quick. Nasty Bash, I think, is the next one.
Well, the gathering reject stage, like we talked about.
Yeah, he's right. That's why he's better.
Nasty Bash. I'll go ahead and I'm just gonna break kayfabe on this. Yours truly will be hosting that whole event.
Oh yeah.
So,
I may have a special giant friend with me. We're still figuring that one out, but you're definitely going to be getting this ugly motherfucker.
So it's an experience, man. I did it once. I don't know if I ever want to do it again.
Oh, bro. If you've never been, if you've never been to Nasty Bash, we will rage until 3 to 4 o'clock in the fucking morning, guaranteed. Both nights.
Hell yeah.
I know what I'm doing with that is I think I'm playing the first night, and the second night, I might still be down there. I know Nasty Bash is gonna be like the last of this iteration of S.O.N. though. I know that sounds like
So if you've missed a set so far, Nasty Bash is the spot to be because that'll be the last one.
Because
it'll be the end of an era.
After that, everything changes, and. Yeah, I'm just excited. My bad. Listen, also I'm gonna plug this real quick because I have an opportunity. I know I already did, but I want to stress this. The Samhain ceremony isn't just a regular event either. We're putting a lot into this motherfucker to make it an experience for everyone that comes out. There's gonna be more info dropped hella soon, but I just want everyone to know that when you come out to this motherfucker, you are going to leave with a smile on your face. And I guarantee after you leave, you make it your annual Halloween event. No question.
That is a hell of a fucking boast because we are given a lot to do in October. Everyone knows that it's our favorite season. So there's a lot of shit to do. So I'm looking forward to taking this challenge because I will definitely fucking be there.
Well,
yeah, we want to pack that bitch shoulder to shoulder, motherfucker.
Yeah.
Will there be full-size candy bars?
There will be.
There we go.
Woo-hoo! That's where you got to be, y'all. They got the full-size candy bars.
Shoplifted from Speedway.
You just nailed Yeti. He's guaranteed to be there. Okay, this is the last thing, and this is just something I've been thinking about while we've been doing this. If you could, if an artist was interested in you, what would be your pitch to try to land them to Goon Management?
Damn, bro.
I'm in.
Walk up and like, hey baby, what's up?
Hey, baby, what that mouth do?
Fucking weirdo.
I don't know. I mean, I'll be honest. I don't know. Like I said, everything that has happened so far to this point has been natural. It's all like occurred. Like it's just all come together the way that it's come together. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
That's the words of a pimp. That's just treating life right there. That guy.
All the
I know.
Natural.
all the hoes came together.
Man, he better quit.
Bom, bom,
He's
bom.
talking about noise and team.
Somebody's
I
gonna
don't know.
make a meme. Somebody's gonna make a meme, and they're gonna put your head on Godfather's body and the three boys on the fucking hose body.
Truck it down to
Y'all
the
gonna have hell to pay. Y'all gonna have hell to pay.
do the hoe train going to the show.
Oh my God. And this is why y'all are my motherfucking boys. Thank you so much for coming on here and pretty much saving the day, because I needed it, and I appreciate the favor. And yeah, if you're listening to this, check out S.O.N, check out Dean, check out Noise 13. These are not just amazing artists, these are my motherfucking brothers, and I support them with everything I've got.
Yeah, noisetown.com, armyoftheheartless.com, legionrealm.net. Actually, in terms of legionrealm.net, you want to say it?
Well, yeah, check that motherfucker when this shit drop, because there'll probably be a little restock of some granite size hard copies and maybe a S.O.N jersey or something. You know what I mean?
Oh, everybody loves limited time merch. It's how you sell shit out.
Yeah, legionrealm.net.
You can find us, as always, at Picser It Didn't Happen official on Instagram, at Picser It Didn't Happen YouTube and Facebook. If you care to find me, I drop a lot of dumb shit and memes and episodes. I'm Fats King. Yeti, do you want to tell them where they can find your pictures?
Yeah, I mean, Instagram, when I remember to put shit on there at Yet at Night. Hasn't been a lot of shows lately, so there hadn't been a lot there. Of course, Facebook, but don't go there because that's just my personal page, and my life is pretty boring.
Check out his toy photography.
Oh, you can do that, but check out S.O.N and Dean and Noise because they're way cooler than me.
Oh, shut up.
We'll catch you all in the next one.
Come over and kiss you on the cheek, boy.